Prepare yourselves for a haunting story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. In this episode, we recount the chilling massacre, where a family sleepover takes a sinister turn. What began as a night of fun and bonding quickly turned into a nightmare that would forever alter the lives of those involved and send shockwaves through the entire community. And now you are watching Misconduct. Join us as we dive into the tragic details, the aftermath, and the broader implications of this horrifying event. In Henrietta, Oklahoma, a tragic event unfolded about a year ago, beginning with Holly McFadden. Holly was a vibrant 35-year-old mother to 3 teenagers: Tiffany Guess, 13, Riley Allen, 17, and Michael Mayo, 15. Although each child had a different biological father, they all looked up to Tiffany's father, Joe, as their dad. Joe had been married to Holly for 13 years, and even after their divorce, he remained a steadfast presence in their lives, especially for Riley. He cared for the children as if they were his own, and even expressed a desire to adopt Michael and Riley. Everything changed on May 26, 2022, when Holly remarried. Her new husband, Jesse McFadden, entered the picture, and this is where the story took a dark and unexpected turn. On the surface, they appeared to be a happy, blended family. However, behind closed doors, Jesse's troubling past was about to come to light. It remains uncertain whether Holly was aware of Jesse's criminal history before their marriage, but her mother uncovered the truth just months prior to the tragedy. Jesse McFadden was born in Kansas and dropped out of school after 9th grade. His legal troubles began in 2002 with a charge for underage beer possession. The following year, he was convicted of grand larceny for stealing over $80,000 from his grandfather. He also had several arrests for driving with a suspended license. But in 2003, he committed a far more serious crime: assaulting a 17-year-old girl at knife point with sexual motives. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the attack. While in prison, McFadden continued his disturbing behavior. In 2013, he was caught with a contraband cell phone after texting a woman with sexual messages for 3 months. Then, in 2016, he was caught again, this time engaging in explicit conversations with a 16-year-old girl named Caitlin. Despite these incidents, McFadden was granted early release in 2020 due to good behavior in prison. The fact that someone with such a history could be released early is baffling, and it raises serious questions about the justice system. After his release, McFadden was supposed to check in with the sheriff's office every 90 days and was prohibited from being near places where children gathered. But he ignored these restrictions. His trial for the sexting incident with Caitlin was delayed multiple times, which gave him the opportunity to marry Holly and act as a stepfather to her 3 children. Finally, in May 2023, his trial was set to begin. But McFadden never showed up in court. That weekend, 2 young girls, Brittany Brewer and Ivy Webster, joined Tiffany and her siblings at the McFadden household for a sleepover. What was supposed to be a fun weekend ended in tragedy. On Monday, none of the children showed up for school. Worried, their parents reported them missing to the police. Meanwhile, McFadden had failed to appear in court. When police arrived at McFadden's home, they made a horrifying discovery: 7 bodies scattered across the property. Jesse McFadden, his wife Holly, her 3 children, and the 2 friends Brittany and Ivy had all been shot in the head. It's believed that McFadden first killed his family and their friends before turning the gun on himself. The motive behind these brutal murders is still unclear, but there are disturbing clues. The night before his trial, McFadden sent unsettling messages to Caitlin, blaming her for the fact that his life was falling apart. He was desperate to avoid going back to prison, and he may have committed these horrific acts to keep his dark secrets hidden from his family. Investigators found disturbing evidence in the McFadden home, including restraints, sex toys, and explicit books. the home was in a shocking state, raising questions about whether Holly was aware of what was going on. Did she know about Jesse's past and choose to ignore it? Or was she manipulated by him? The families of Ivy and Brittany did not know about Jesse McFadden's troubling criminal past, leading them to believe their daughters were safe during a sleepover. Jeanette Mayo, Holly's mother, expressed disbelief over McFadden's control over Holly's life, which included monitoring her movements and even her cell phone. This tragic situation highlights a significant failure in the justice system, as McFadden, despite his serious offenses, was released from prison. The circumstances surrounding this tragedy raise pressing questions about why the warning signs regarding McFadden were overlooked. Even those who interacted with him in prison found his behavior alarming. James Fleming, a former cellmate, recounted McFadden's unsettling fixation on sexual topics and noted a distinctly predatory demeanor. This description paints a picture of a man who was anything but rehabilitated. The devastating loss suffered by the victims' families underscores a broader issue within the justice system, where dangerous individuals can slip through the cracks and re-enter society without adequate scrutiny. The community is left grappling with the aftermath of a preventable tragedy, haunted by the knowledge that a lack of vigilance and accountability allowed a predator to deceive not only his victims, but also the families who believed they were providing a safe environment. In the wake of such a loss, it is imperative to address these systemic failures to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. In the aftermath, the victims' families and friends are left to pick up the pieces. They'll always wonder how someone like Jesse McFadden could slip through the cracks. It's a reminder to all of us that we never truly know what secrets someone may be hiding. Thank you for watching this deeply emotional story. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families as they continue to heal. If you'd like to help make a difference, please check the description for resources and ways to support those impacted by violence. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more stories like this.